First of all, introducing our challenger.
Out of the blue corner.
He's going to step in and he does. It's all over.
Let's bring on the boom.
This is Eternal MMA.
All right, here we are back with another episode of the Eternal Insiders Podcast. Ahead of Eternal 95 as Eternal MMA finally makes its first stop in Logan City, Queensland. Now, Logan City, of course, home of one of the most informed gyms in the country right now in the Fight Centre, and we are being joined today by one of its up-and-coming rising star athletes, Daddy Ravioli himself, Jon Aiello, kind enough to share some of his time with us here today. Pleasure to have you on here. I wanted to have you on here for quite some time, watching you from afar with not only your performances in the cage as an athlete, but of course emceeing recently also for Eternal MMA, which you've been doing a fantastic job at. But as we said at the top, man, Logan City, brother, finally here for Eternal 95. I've talked to a couple of the other boys out of the gym, of course, already and got their thoughts and feelings about this one. You train at the Fight Centre in Logan City. Significance of this one, man. This is a big one. A lot of buzz in that part of Queensland. Explain this to us for those that don't understand the pop around Logan City and the Fight Centre right now.
Mate, have you heard German by No Money Enterprise?
No, you're going to have to brush me up.
As I pull up in a German, your crew look nervous. They're all the Usos that live around this area, the 4114. So that's what we're doing, TFC. It's I don't know, man. Benny and I were talking about it when I was talking about coming back to a fight after obviously I had a bit of a stint with an injury, mucked around with some stuff, and when they announced Logan, I actually had flights booked for New Zealand. I was meant to be going to New Zealand. Darcy and I were going to go and train at City Kickboxing for a little bit with Nate Law, who's also on the card. But Benny kind of gave us a hint that there's something special happening in Logan. And he was like, maybe, I've cancelled the flights that day. I was like, no, it's not happening. If there's a chance to fight here in Logan, the place that allows me to build my skills and has introduced me to this amazing team that I'm part of. I'm fucking repping the boys, eh? I'm coming out and I'm fighting for Logan and I'm putting on one hell of a show. That's 100% certain. I
saw today on Eternal MMA's social media a little clip drop from our one of our commentators, Tanira Nathan, doing a little bit of talking with T, and he referenced something that I wasn't familiar with in the 4-3 for Logan City. Are you familiar with this expression, the 4-3? I don't know if that's something he made up. You don't look like you're familiar with that expression at all to me. We're going to do a bit of research.
Mate, look at the colour of my skin. Do I look like I'm from any one of those islands?
Yeah, fair, maybe. I don't know. You seem like with the reference that you just talked about, the song and everything.
Because I said Usos as well.
Yeah, so maybe you might have had a bit of an inside word. I don't know. That's okay. I'll hit up T and I'll find out for him. He's got boots in the ground right now in Logan City doing a bit of digging. So I'll question the man himself. But back to you, man. Last time we saw you in the cage, at least as a competitor, I was headlining Proving Grounds Fight League 5 some 9 months ago. In a fight that you got the job done via TKO, a fantastic performance from yourself. Now, we've seen you obviously emceeing inside the cage for Eternal MMA in between them. But overall, man, with no competition happening, I think you referenced a little bit of an injury that you had there too. What the last 9 months look like for your brother outside of actually fighting?
Look, it's actually crazy. Maybe just before Darcy's fight against John Martin Fraser, just before he fought for the title, I'd had a neck injury before I fought Nikita Lapsevich like years ago, because we were doing guillotine escapes and I tweaked it and something happened with my C5 and my C6. It got aggravated and then it got to the point where it was like shutting my central nervous system down. I couldn't actually. I won't jump into too many details because I don't want people thinking let's go grab his neck. It's all sweet now, thankfully. But yeah, it was just a lot of watching tape on people I thought I could emulate, and just trying to build my body up, bro. Like, honestly, I hit the weights room in a very specific way. I wasn't trying to get big. I was trying to get specifically strong in certain areas of my body that I knew needed attention. So I used the time as well as I thought I could. And I mean, you can ask the people I train with. I think it did.
I was going to say, man, you're looking jacked. You look like you're ready to sort of go. Strength and conditioning program there at the Fight Centre, I imagine, pretty top-notch to match the level of expertise they're putting out in the fighting coaching side of things there as well.
It's actually crazy. It's starting to become more of we all do this together. Like we all do this certain stuff, Ben's starting to be a bit more, boys, work on your feet, work on your back extensions, work on this for your double leg, that sort of stuff. But before that, it was just kind of me and Darcy were doing our own doing our own research and going, this is what we're going to do for this. And this is how we put plyometrics into it and that sort of stuff. But
going next level with that stuff, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've always run a tight ship when it comes to that sort of thing. I don't think any skill set is useful if the vehicle carrying it can't run.
Some good insight there, man. And just talking about the last win that you had as well, with that TKO stoppage win, you were clearly very emotional after the fight. Now, can I sort of guess for a couple of reasons there? I mean, you've had a fantastic run in the amateur scene to start with after, striking out in your first appearance as an amateur, but going on a 5-fight winning streak from there. Your 2 fights preceding this TKO stoppage win was via split decision. I imagine this one, this time around, got to feel good to get the knockout, and not leave it in the hands of the judges and put yourself through the run of listening to split decisions. I know amateurs is all about learning and its growth and its evolution. It's not specifically all about the wins, but that one looked like it clearly felt good.
Yeah. How in detail do you want me to go?
As much as you want to, please. 100%. Yeah, let it fly, brother.
Man, like anyone who knows me knows that I was at another gym before I came to TFC, found my home here. But there was definitely some growing pains when I first got here. Things weren't running the way I was used to. We kind of just, honestly, bro, it was me and Darcy and a couple other boys were just kind of doing our own thing at the other gym. And it got good results. I felt like I was doing the best there. Like I had my most dominant performance right before I had this, the 2 split decisions. And that was before we left. So when we left and then we came here and then I started fighting and I felt like I was still doing as much as I could. And I felt like I was so much better than I was showing. And because like I've said, anyone who knows me in the gym knows I'm a fucking beast, bro. Like I'll say that to anyone until I'm blue in the face. Shades of fucking Darcy saying I could beat Kamaru Usman in the UFC after after he beat Jack James. John Martin Fraser, you spanner. But no, I'm saying he called Darcy a spanner, and I'm not saying John's a spanner.
Oh yeah, I'm staying on that one. That's fine. Yeah, you take
John's a G. John's a fucking mad. John's a mad guy. But yeah, fucking after that, bro. After the Jesse Wynn fight, I had a big conversation with Darcy. I was like, is this just not for me? Like, am I that guy who can't put it together on the night? Because I'm not going out there to have a back and forth run of things until I eventually just get fucking knocked out cold. I'm not fucking around to find out that I'm not the best. I want to know I'm the best. And that 3rd round of my last fight was the first time I ever felt like I just backed myself and went, bro, you're the guy. Show him you're the fucking guy.
You talked in the post fight that you need to listen to your corner a little bit more. You seem like you gave a bit of advice to anyone listening. Hey, listen to your coaches. Like, when they're telling you can let your hands go, like start, letting your hands go and trusting in that. I mean, everything you just talked about there and things holding you back. Like, was there specific things inside the cage that were holding you back from sort of letting your hands go? And if that was the case, if something was kind of like holding you back, like do you kind of suggesting now that you've got like this new bill of confidence, like going forward, like you can throw a bit more caution to the wind, and if you want to end the fight inside the distance, like the chains are finally off, like there's hell to pay for the opponents, like, in your near future?
100%, bro. I think it's more just, as I said, there was growing pains when I first came here. I think there was a lack of understanding of how much this thing means to me between everyone at the gym. Like Darcy has always known. That's why anyone who looks at us will be like, oh, these guys have a weird relationship. Because we know each other like no one else knows us. It's hard to transfer that trust and informational, that knowledge base to a new coach or to a new gym and be like, this is what I'm good at. Like this is what I like. This is how I like to fight. This is anything like that. And I think that was just the thing. I struggled with knowing who to listen to. And I think it's because they didn't know they were both giving different information, or they were giving some information, but we thought some would think that the other one it was common sense. They didn't need to fill that in. I'm a specifics dude. If you tell me how to do something and when to do it, I will never forget it, and I'll keep it forever.
So was that moment? Sorry, was that like when you just talk about that and not being sort of initially in sync with the coaches and with the gym and everything, like that particular performance, and given the way that you kind of called it out and listened to your coaches, was that kind of like the catalyst moment for where everything kind of just like clicked to them? Was it in the lead up? Was it right then in that moment, then everything was golden going forward? Like what can you share there?
There was a few things in the camp leading up to it for sure, but then like I definitely started to feel more confident in that camp. I was like, this is the one. But then I got in there, and once I got in there, I just started feeling like it was happening again, if that makes sense. Like the first 2 rounds, I was like, I feel like I'm winning here, but like I'm not actually going for it. Like I'm just kind of getting away with it. And then in that between the second and third, Ben grabbed me and he said, dude, it's happening again. Like, we don't know who's fucking winning here, bro. Go try to fucking kill him. And that was all he said. He was like, go out there and let it go. And then Darcy was like, 100%, do what this man has just said. Go throw that. And then they were like, you can fucking, if he tries to engage with you, literally fucking freak out. Get him off you and punch him. And you can see, I decided in that moment, I was like, all right, well, it's all here or nothing. Like, I'm either winning this fight or I'm fucking done with this shit. And that's the end of it. So to knock him out, or like to TKO him, put him on the ground in front of my corner, because that was literally where it happened. He's on the floor getting punched right in front of Benny and Darcy. I was like, oh, I saved myself. Like, I saved myself from giving up on the dream that I have.
And I'm glad, man. Yeah, because it set you up very nicely, and it's put you in this fantastic position to be able to represent for Logan City as we go back to Logan City for Eternal 95. We want to talk everything about that and your fight coming up, of course. But first time we've had you here on the show, man. There's a few things that I want to talk to you about. We talked about when we first introduced you here that, of course, you've been doing some MCing for Eternal MMA as well, which you've got quite a damn good knack for, man. How did this come about? Was this something that you had an interest in? Was it a right place, right time? Did someone approach you? You clearly got, a bit of a charismatic kind of eye for this sort of thing with the social media and everything that you get yourself into too. But MCing for Eternal MMA, how did this come about for you?
I messaged Cam maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, just before Casey O'Neill's King's Cup grappling event, the first one, I think. Or it might have been the second. I can't remember. But basically, I messaged Cam and was like, hey, mate, I don't know if you've ever considered this, but I've got like a theatre background. I'm a musical theatre boy from the get-go. That's where I was all through high school. I'd love to do this. This would be awesome. If I'm not fighting on the card, I'd love to do some announcing or some commentary or any of that sort of stuff. Get me in there. And he replied and was like, this is unexpected, but okay, cool. We might have something available. Didn't hear from him for a bit. A couple of weeks later, he goes, do you want to do King's Cup? Did it. And then I think just before the John Martin Fraser versus Alfred Stoddart card, or it was, yeah, just before that event, Cam came to the gym and was like, do you want to, Blake's overseas doing some work in the movies. He's stepping on up. Good for him. Do you want to, try your chops at announcing, be little Aussie Bruce Wog Buffer. So gave it a crack and had fun. Got to announce my mates, Nate, Maxi, obviously Darcy. Got to announce him as the NU. So I had a good little crack at it. I might come back to it for a bit, but mate, while Blake's here, fucking Mr. Hollywood and Tenera, well, who am I? I'm a fighter. That's who I am.
I like it, brother. But yeah, well, while the run has at least lasted for now, you've shown, you can wear a couple of different hats for the promotion, mate. As a fighter, getting in there and doing the MCing, really enjoyed your work certainly there while you weren't fighting. You just mentioned there, of course, announcing Darcy as the Yan new champ. I think I spoke to him about this when I talked to him after he won the title and just talked about what that kind of moment was like for him in terms of the emotion of it all. I can't remember if I asked him specifically on your behalf if you kind of had like some internal, I don't know if like conflict's the right word, but like, this being like your best mate, like what a moment that you guys have sort of like dreamt of together. And now all of a sudden you're thrust into this part of not just being his friend cage side or in the stands, like you're the one announcing him as kind of the champion, something you probably never imagined doing. Was that a strange spot for you to kind of be in where I know that you're probably trying to be professional at the same time and not come across even like announcing him into the cage as having any kind of bias? Like what was that kind of like for you? With all those things considered, the emotions, your friend announcing the professional side, it must have been a little bit of a whirlwind.
To be honest with you, I think the only thing that I struggled with was not showing emotion during the fight. Like you're sitting there as the MC cage side, watching your fucking best mate.
Yeah.
Like, cannot be overstated how much that man means to me. And you're watching him punch on with the fucking scariest man in Australia, I think. In my personal opinion, but that's all that was. And you can literally see, like, you'll see the angle of him knocking him out and me going like a little fucking schoolgirl. But it's good. That moment was so big. But anything in the lead up to it, like announcing, I don't know if anyone noticed, but when I announced John Martin Fraser, I fucking nearly blew out my voice trying to give that man the biggest announcement possible. He's a G, like I've said. There was no animosity on my end. I know Ben Vickers is mates with him. We spoke about it beforehand, and there was really no conflict for me. Like I'm happy to be a professional when you need to be a professional. At the end of the day, it's the sport you sign up for. If something bad happened to Darcy, that's the game we play. I'm not going to bawl my eyes out and not announce John Martin Fraser. I was more likely to cry if Darcy won, which I did. So.
It was a hell of a moment, man. I think you conducted yourself extremely well considering, like, I try to put myself in those shoes and imagining trying to, remain professional with my best friend, like going out there and punching on. But, hey, you're used to these sort of things, a little bit more than me. So, I won't try to compare myself to those sort of situations. I mean, you just talk about the relationship there with Darcy and everything as well. I mean, it sort of seems like you can't sort of have one without the other with you guys, like kind of a bit of an iconic duo, if you sort of will. So it sort of seems like a bit of a yin and a yang type personality dynamic. If you sort of want to look at it on the surface, through a bit of a shallow lens, it doesn't, like to the untrained eye, it doesn't make any sense because you guys seem like two very, very different individuals. Everyone in this game's got someone they can lean on, right? Like everyone's got their friends, but this is truly like a next level partnership that you guys like have where you're, riding till the wheels come off, like in this fight game. Like what is it that sort of, makes this friendship like so unique and like a clear positive influence on like both of your lives, both like professionally and on a personal level as well? Because it's a cool thing to see.
I think, I don't know. I've heard him say it before. We've like spoken about it before. Obviously, well, not obviously. Obviously, we've spoken before.
I hope
but
so.
yeah, no, it'd be crazy. We'd hardly touch base. We both just really, I don't know, man. The first time I met him, I came to the old gym. It was 4:00 on a Friday afternoon for wrestling. It was my first session. I was like, cool, I'm going to come in and do wrestling. And no one else showed up. It was just me and Darcy. And then one other guy came in 10 minutes late. On a Friday afternoon, you're lucky to get anyone in the gym. That's just kind of the way it seems nowadays, I guess. But I went there and he was like, all right, cool. Looks like you're getting a private. And then this other guy came and it was like, oh, okay, no, we've got a partner. No one's leaving till you can do a perfect double leg. So we just sat there and I was loving it. I was like, dude, I'm terrible. This is awesome. And he's sitting there like, no, you got to fix this. You got to fix this. You got to fix this. Old mate was like tapping out real fast and not keen at all. But I was super, he was like, bro, I got to go. It's like 5:30. I got to leave. And I was like, oh, but, and he was like, no, it's all good. We'll get someone else from the open mat. And we just went for a bit longer. But I think in that moment, he realized that I'm not afraid to be shit. And I'm not afraid to be told that I'm shit. If I'm not doing something right, I want to know how to fix it. So he has helped me so much on that side of things. Everything that I can do technically well. I know Benny's added a lot in the last couple of years for sure. But in the beginning, everything I was doing well and everything I was developing was Darcy. So we went like that. It was a skills thing. And he's never really had a lot of mates, like a lot of real mates. And like you said, I'm a bit of a fucking spark plug, social, charismatic. I'm out there. I'm in people's faces.
You're
whether you like me or
extroverted,
not.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I'm always willing to get out there, and he's not been like that.
Yeah.
So
So you sort of complement each other well in that regard. You balance each other out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, one's the analytical one, and the other's the social one. But we're rubbing off on each other. We just have, we're taking what we admire about the other and adding it to our own personalities.
No, it's fantastic to see, man. And look, just you guys are one and two examples of good things that are happening at the Fight Center in Logan City at the moment. Really a gym on the come up. Obviously, I spoke to Nate Law, who's going to be involved in the co-main event for this Eternal 95 card. Spoke to Maxie Davidson as well. I think there's something like, I've been told like 4, 5, 6 of you guys that are going to be on this card. Like really good representation for the gym in general. You're obviously there on the mats every day. And before we talk about you and what you've got coming up, I know you're a great teammate. Like who should the fans be looking out for? Like who are you excited to see on this card? And there's a few guys to name, but give the fans the inside scoop. Who are we looking for on this one?
Mate, how do you do this to me? Look, I'm gonna shout. Look, Maxie. Everyone knows Maxie's an entertainer. That's for sure. So you'll never be disappointed with Maxie. Nate is like, come on, Nate's a fucking G. Yeah. So I'm always gonna shout out Nate. He can't fucking leave. He's always here. It's unfortunate for him because he can't call in sick. He's always here, whether he's feeling good or whether he's not. He's going his hardest. I can't knock that. I'm gonna give a special shout out to Jonas Solari. I'm not sure what's happening with his match just yet, but I'm praying he's on the card still because I've never met someone so willing to absorb knowledge and so athletic. The man has the body for MMA. In the lighter weight classes, I think. And yeah, he hits like a fucking truck. So I'm going to give anyone a special shout out. It's going to be my boy Jonas, my day one training partner since CMBT back in the day. Helped me with many camps, and I can't wait to share a card with him.
Let's talk a bit about you as well because, we get to this point. You've got a fight in this card coming up, of course, and you're the guest for today. Going up against Perry Smith. Now, you guys are both really on the come up in the amateur division in the bantamweight ranks. A lot of good talent sort of circling around this bantamweight division right now, and you guys are sort of at the top of that heap. What excites you about this one, brother? There's a lot of eyes on this particular matchup. Obviously, the main card's a cracker as well, but I mean, the Eternal MMA bantamweights and in the amateur ranks, man, they always come and sort of turn it on. What can you tell us about this one? What excites you about it? What should we be looking forward to?
I think what excites me about it most is we're quite similar. Like if you look at him, if you look at our styles, we're pretty much the same fucking guy. We love big shots and we love getting into some grappling engagements. But I think the other exciting prospect of it is that he and I are both obviously very close to pros. Like whether it's this one or the next one, like whether we have one or two more each, we're both on that. Like we're about to have our blow up moment. Like it's either going to be he or me come May 3rd that shows that they're the real deal and the next guy to freak out all the bantamweights in the pros. Because we're two young dudes and we've got solid records. And I can just tell that he fucking hates losing. Just like me. And that's why it doesn't happen.
It's a good recipe, man, for something that's going to potentially turn into a very fan-friendly scrap there, brother. I was curious as well, because this is actually the first time, talking to Max actually, it was the first time that I've actually talked to an amateur fighter on the podcast. Like every other time
he mentioned that to everyone. Yeah. He ran around the gym going, I'm the first amateur on Eternal Insiders.
Did I tell him that or did he just kind of know? I don't even know if I
I think he just figured it out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I think for my part, just sort of looking at it, it's obviously Logan City, stop looking at just the pro guys. Let's talk to some Logan City guys, and start kind of angling from that sort of point of view. But, it sort of made me think in terms of talking to you guys that are in this phase of your career, in the amateurs where, it's not the pros where every single fight matters in terms of the wins and the losses and that sort of thing. Is it difficult for someone at your phase of your career? Like you said, you're about to potentially cross over to the pro ranks, but you're still in kind of that amateur phase. In terms of balancing wanting to go into a fight and still wanting to learn, still wanting to evolve, still wanting to sharpen your skills. It's not necessarily so hardcore about the wins and losses. I know no one approaches the fight thinking, if I lose, like, who cares? Like, you want to go out there and win, but is there kind of like more than ever now that this fight's in Logan City, still in the amateurs, you want to put it on for your city, you want to put it on for the fight center, you still want to learn and sharpen your skills and go out there before you go to the pros, but friends and family going to be in attendance and that sort of thing as well? Like, do you kind of fight against that primal need to want to show out? Does that kind of override that kind of need to still sort of learn and go through the chops? Like, where does the balance kind of lie for you when you think about those things?
Not even slightly.
Okay.
Bro, if I want to be the best at everything, I'll never like look at, if you tell me there's something different that I can do that'll make me better, I'm so down for it, man. I'm not, I'm just excited to go out there and put on a performance. Like, it is 100% that, but that's because I know I have the fucking skills to do it.
So it is more weighted towards like the learning, the doing things right, as opposed to just going out and thinking like, man, I've got to knock it in. Yeah. Okay, cool.
100%, man. I've approached the amateur I've approached these amateurs as if it's literally just a warm-up for pros. It is pros. Like, in my head, it's pros. Just because I can't elbow people, which I think will be a big fucking problem when I can. That is, I don't do anything half-assed, man. This is that thing. This is like this sport. Amateurs is everything, man. I'm not gonna take it any less seriously just because it's like, oh, that record will go away. Who cares, man? There's still gonna be video of me bashing people when I was an amateur. I'm not going out there to fucking lose to anyone just because it was fun for the fans. That's not my style. I'm very different in that way.
I know this is like such a layup question, but I mean, given that you talk about this being kind of in the crossover period between when you might wrap things up as an amateur and then crossing over to the pros, like, have you already kind of made your mind up that this is everything in terms of once you become a pro, all the stock is being put into this career? Like, we want to go the pro ranks. So I don't want to, we're not looking past your opponent or anything like that, but I've talked to some guys in the early pro phase of their career that are like, oh, look, I'm not too sure if this is still what I want to kind of do. Like, where is your mind at in terms of how invested you are into this being your identity and who you are going forward?
I'm going to be the best in the world at fighting. Mate, in my opinion, I don't think there's any other reason to do this sport. There's plenty of other ways to make a paycheck or get a bit of cash than going out there and potentially getting fucking flatlined in front of all your friends and family. I plan to show up and show out every time I go out there. And that's why I was so hard on me the last two. That's why I was so hard on myself the last two fights. The last three fights, rather. Even everyone was like, yeah, bro, the last one was a sick performance. And I was like, yeah, no, it actually wasn't. It was a sick moment, but the performance wasn't anything to write home about.
Last one before I let you go, brother. We talk about, obviously, we got some information. Sorry, someone distracting you outside the car there?
No, I'm just like, yeah, bro, like, you asked one question. I'm just like, nah, man, like, shut up. I'm going to leave. Sorry.
It's all good, brother. That's all right. It's all good. I like it. Where was that? Yeah, so obviously we talked there about you are leaning more towards still the tutelage side of it, or more, kind of the school phase of, learning this part of your career and taking amateurs very seriously. And, when it becomes pro, that's when things kind of really cross over. And we mentioned this is Logan City and, friends and family and that sort of thing coming. Like, do you at least allow yourself to, like, really kind of imagine how sort of, in the perfect way that May 3rd kind of goes down for you? Like, I know this is still the learning phase, but it would feel pretty freaking good to do something special, like in front of your friends and family and the gym and the boys that you represent on a carb with a bunch of your teammates and that sort of thing. Like, when you're laying there thinking at night about how it's kind of going to go down, do you kind of have a way in which you kind of want to sort of top it, or are these not thoughts that kind of enter your mind?
Oh, I'd be lying if I said they weren't. Like, I listen to my walkout song every morning. I get in the car and I imagine the finish, the way it goes. I imagine a different version of the finish. There's several ways I think the fight can go. Yeah, bro, imagining looking out to the Logan crew, my adopted, the adopted city that I now train in under the tutelage of, Ben Johnston. It's impossible not to think about that stuff and use that as the fuel to rock up every day and give it your all. It's, I think about it a lot.
I like it, brother. Well, stocks are certainly up there at the Fight Centre, and for you boys coming in behind what was the former middleweight champion Ben Johnston, now we have the current middleweight champion in Darcy Vendy, and just like I said, this absolute stream of guys that are flowing through the ranks to represent the Fight Centre, one of the most informed gyms in the country right now. And what a better time, no better time to come in with that run of form as we enter Logan City with Eternal MMA for the very first time on May 3rd for Eternal 95. Get your tickets at eternalmma.com because, as you would know, these are going extremely fast. They're not going to last. You want to get there. Be there or be square. If you're not, you're going to tune in live and exclusive on UFC Fight Pass. Daddy Ravioli, Jon Aiello will be on the prelims. An absolute scrap, I'm sure that it will be, and we thank him for his time here today, sharing some fantastic insight on the fight, his life as an amateur so far. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what comes for him next, man. So enjoy the fight. All the best to you, and looking forward to talking to you in the again future, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, bro. I'll see you all May 3rd, and I'll see you in the pros, because as my girl Sabby C says, I can do a lot with 15 minutes.
Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Let's go.